So many sites to post pics and post comments, so make your friends say holy smokes like Robin. Your post live forever, that's a long time, so don't overshare when you go online. Yeah, your digital footprint will stick with you, so stop and think before you post that pic.
Hello again and welcome to another tutorial on the Grenada SDA Comprehensive Schools Learning Management System. Today we are going to be looking at the electronic attendance register, which can be used to track the students' attendance or participation in your different subject area. Alright, first of all, we're going to select the subject that we're going to create that attendance register for by clicking on my subject and selecting the subject that we need to create it for. Alright, in this case I'm going to be creating a register for the 3A1 and 3A2 Caribbean History subject. As always, ensure you turn your editing on by clicking this button here. If it's green, that means it's off. Once you click it and it turns red, that means you can start adding activities and resources into your subject. Alright, now we have the option of adding the register right below the last section in your subject, or we can do it right at the top. I am going to choose at the top because every time I open up my subject I want to be able to access my attendance register. So I'm going to click add an activity or resource in the first section of my subject area. I'm going to scroll down and look for attendance. Click add. Okay, so we have a few things to fill in here. First of all, you can give the attendance register a descriptive name. If you want to leave the default, that's up to you. Okay, in the description box, we're going to type a short description of what the attendance register would be used for. Okay, we can move down to the grade section, which allows you to allot a specific amount of marks or points to each of the students for their attendance. This can be used to calculate your final grade at the end of the term for each of the students. So I usually put in a point, and I usually give each student about 10 marks maximum for good attendance in my subject area. The grade to pass, I usually raise the bar a little bit, just above half. I'm just gonna say about 7, but of course you can decide if you would like to put this half or if you would like to use a different figure here. Alright, the rest of the stuff can remain with their default values. We're going to just click save and display. Good, so we have created our shell for putting in our attendance data. There are a few things that we need to get in order first. We're going to start from this end. The temporary users option here allows us to add any temporary student that we want into our subject. So you may have a student that probably you just have in your class maybe for a couple of sessions, then you can simply add them as a temporary user. The starter set is the area that you're going to change the amount of marks that are allotted for the different areas of the attendance register. So we have whether a student is present, late, excused or absent. 2 marks for present. You can of course increase or decrease. 1 for late. Excused, I usually put it at 2 because I would not penalize a student for being justifiably excused from my subject at any point in time. So once you have set your allotted points, you can click on update. Okay, the export section allows us to export an attendance report, of course, for each of the students in our subject. If we want to export all of the students, we can leave this option here as it is. If we want to just export specific students, we can change this to yes, and then we can select the names here that we want to export the data from. Alright, underneath here I usually identify the students by their student ID and username, so I don't change the default settings. Down here you can decide if you want to export all of the sessions, or you just want to export a report for sessions within a certain time span. So you can choose the date here. If you uncheck this yes, then you can choose the date and say, okay, I want to export a report for this period from the 3rd of September to the 24th of April. Once you're satisfied with your settings, you can click on OK. Of course, your reports can only be exported if you already have created sessions for your attendance register. Okay, over to reports or report. This section allows you to view the students and their attendance data. You can either view all at once, you can view by months, you can view by weeks, days, etc. And of course there is the summary option that would give you all of the sessions and would give you an outline of what the students' attendance were like. Of course there is nothing here now because we have not captured any attendance data as yet. Okay, so we're going to move on to add a session, and in this section here we actually putting in the sessions that we would like to capture the attendance data for. This section here, you get to adjust the date, or you get to choose the date that you start your sessions, and you get to put in the time span of each of those sessions. So for example, I'm going to just pull up a timetable here. Let's say for example, history Form 3s are on these days. Monday at this time, we have another one down here on Tuesday, we have one down here on Wednesday, one on Thursday, right? So if we want to take attendance register for this particular day, Monday, and this particular time, then we can simply create a session for. So looking at this, this history session here is from 8:15 to 8:50 on Monday. So I'm starting from, yesterday was Monday, so I'm going to start from the 20th of April 2020. That time for that session is 8:15 to 8:45. Alright, you can give a short description for that session. Okay, now down here is where you get to choose the multiple sessions. So the first thing you need to find out is when your term would be ending, or when would this period that you have these classes with the Form 3s would be ending. So you need to say, okay, I'm going to repeat this session, or I have this class on Mondays every week until, let's say, June, the 2nd of June. Let's say that's the date that the Trinity term would be finishing. Okay, so you ensure that you first of all put in repeat session above, which means it would repeat the 8:15 Monday sessions here every Monday, every week, and this is the date that it would stop. Underneath this area here, you can leave this as default. If you allow the students to take their own attendance, of course they can simply log in, take their attendance, and get out of your subject without doing anything. So I usually leave this unchecked. Automatic marking, I usually leave this unchecked also, and I use this here, use default. Click add. Right, so if you notice, the system has added all of the Mondays that you would have classes for 3A1, 3A2 history classes until the 2nd of June. Now this is ideal for a timetable like this, your normal class timetable, where we have the repetition of the days every week, we have the days repeating. However, recently we have created our own timetable to sort of fit the online sessions that we are doing now, and that timetable would have been created for a 7-day period. So we don't have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We simply did a day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, etc. So let's see how we can deal with a situation like this, where we have a timetable that's not just day-to-day based, but it's actually a time frame based. Right, so we're looking at a timetable that gives us an example of what we are working with now, the GSDACS LMS timetable. And with this particular teacher here, they have a history session with 5A1 and 5A2, for day 1. So in this case, we only have one subject for 1 hour within a 7-day cycle. Right, so let's say we have here history 3A1, 3A2, and this would be repeated on day 6. We started today, so today is day 1. Let's get our calendars out. So April the 21st is day 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to Monday because on weekends we're skipping. 5, 6. So on the 28th of April we are going to have the next session for this history class 3A1, 3A2. So let me just open up, and I'm going to go to the 28th of April 2020, and the session is from 12:30 to 1:30. So we go in 12:30, 1:30, and don't forget we are dealing with the 24-hour clock here. Again, you can simply type a brief description. Okay, so in this case we cannot use the multiple sessions because our timetable is not designed for the days of the week. So we're going to leave all of this as it is. We're not going to repeat any session. We would have to create a session for each of the dates that we are going to have history for 3A1, 3A2. So the rest of the information remains the same. I'm going to click add. Okay, if we have created any sessions and we need to remove them, we can simply tick each of the box. If we want to do bulk ticking, we can click up here. Of course, I do not want to remove this one. I'm going to leave this here. Okay, and down here I'm going to choose delete. Okay, it's going to ask you to confirm. We're going to continue. Right, so in this case we have already created our first session for day 6, which is on Tuesday 28th April. We are going to repeat this by going back to add session. Remember, we need to use our calendar so we can have accurate dates. So I had my first session on the 28th of April. I need to count another 6 days because remember it's on day 6 I'm having my my 3A1, 3A2. So after the 28th I'm going to count 6 again. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip Saturday and Sunday. 4, 5, 6. So my next 3A1, 3A2 history session would be on the 6th, Wednesday the 6th. Okay, so I'm going to put that in. Again, we can put in a short description, and of course, because we are not repeating this, we are putting in the sessions manually one by one. We're not going to interfere with these settings down here. We're just going to click add. Alright, and basically you just continue to put in each one of them. The initial setup is a bit tedious, but after you have set up everything, then it's just a matter of clicking buttons to get your data captured and analyzed. Alright, so let's look at actually taking the register now. I have my session set up. You have to continue to put in until the end of the term. If you want to put in your session every time you're just about to have your session, that's no problem. It's going to work just the same. So once you have your sessions in, you need to take your register by clicking this button here, take attendance. Alright, and it's just a matter of simply looking at your students and clicking P for present, E for excused, L for late, or A for absent. And you can do that by bulk. I want to put all of the students who are present, so I want to put all of the students present, and of course this would ensure that all of the students are given a particular attendance status. Usually what I do, if I have the majority of the students present, I would do this, and then the ones that are that need a different selection, I simply go ahead and change them. So for example, I can change Gmail. If he was late, I can simply click on Gmail by himself instead of having to do one by one. Okay, so let me just try a few of them. Okay, now when you're finished taking your attendance, you click on Save Attendance. Let's do the same for the second session. Just be mindful that this needs to be done when the date actually reaches, or you can do it afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to do all again. They were all excused because we had some technical difficulties on that particular day, so they were all excused for not being in class. Again, click save attendance. Alright, so let's have a look at the reports now. If I click on report, of course I can get a comprehensive view. So for example, here I see Devontae has for present he has 2 out of 2 because only 2 sessions we had. For excused, he has 2 out of 2. That's of course the marks, right? The marks. He had 1 present, 1 excused. No lates, no absences. We only had 2 sessions. Out of 4 points, he got 4 out of 4. All right. Let's go down to someone who was actually late. This person here has 1 point for being late and 2 points for being excused. So there was no present mark for this person. We have excused once and they were late once. Sessions 2, 3 out of 4 points. Their average or percentage is 75%. So let's look at the export options. We can of course select specific students, or we can export all of the students at the same time. So I'm going to just select all of them, put this export specific users no, so it's going to select all of the students automatically. I leave this as it is, and down here I want to take the tick off of this here, the check off of this, and make sure that you select the period that you want the data to be exported for. 21st of April we started our sessions up until the 2nd of June. Just click OK, and that file will be downloaded to your computer. Of course you have to have Microsoft Excel on your computer to open it up. Alright, so here is our report. We have the different names of the students here with the IDs, and then over here we have the attendance report. Again, we have present, excused, late, absent, number of sessions we had, the points they were given, and the percentage mark for their overall attendance. Alright, so there's one more thing I just want to mention here. On the sessions, when you are taking the register, of course if you have taken the register already and you need to make any additional changes, you can simply click change attendance, and this will open back the attendance section. If you maybe excused a particular student, for example, you can put a remark here. So maybe this particular student had internet connection issues, and of course when you finish you save. Alright, so that's it. Just remember that once you have set up your register and you've put in your sessions, from then it's actually smooth sailing. Right now it's going to be a little bit more challenging because we're not using Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We are actually using day 1, day 2, day 3. So you have to have the specific dates for each of your classes, subjects, and you have to put them in. So when you do this for 3A1, 3A2 history, if you're teaching Form 5 history, then you would need to go there and repeat the same thing. It's going to take a little time, but this tool is a very effective tool in ensuring you capture the students' attendance data so that you can use it in the future. So thank you again for viewing, and see you in the next video.
Post smart, don't overshare when you go online. A message on digital citizenship from the Grenada SDA Comprehensive